think UAVs are a great technology and very interesting technology for public safety and the communications community. From a public safety perspective, there's a lot of different applications that we can use them for, be it disaster management applications, be it traffic management, be it assisting criminal investigations, those sorts of things. From a communications perspective, there's a lot of interesting work being done, especially by the University of New Brunswick in the States, looking at deployable airborne communications architecture. And that's architecture which can fire firefighters in the field in remote locations where there may not be a communications network established. When you start going down that path, you can then start setting up virtual fences around your personnel to make sure that the guys and girls aren't in danger, or if a fire comes their way, they get automated alert message. So I think it's a really good aspect. There's also some good work being done by Airbus and others in relation to geostationary long-term suborbital platforms, which can be airborne for 3 to 5 years potentially, and supply, say, satellite-grade communications service. So that type of application is really good. The more recently we start talking about tethered UAVs, so where you've got a UAV which can be deployed like a balloon in a box concept, which can establish a communications network in an area that you need it, when you need it. Provides a lot of diversity and a lot of value.
The benefits of critical communications using UAVs, they can be used to enhance the network coverage. Some of the drone ideas out there are using tethered drones, so the drone's not going to fly away, you can give it more power, and you can use that to enhance your coverage by putting a radio repeater on it. So that's some of the developments. Other developments are fire brigades using them where there's a problem, they can fly over the fire and get an overhead view as well of the incident. So it's giving them live data back to the command vehicle.
If we start talking about UAVs for public safety applications, one of the key drawbacks could be that we don't bring the community along with us. Certainly the airspace regulators are very concerned about safety and the safety of our skies, which we should all embrace and be supportive of them. However, the community also has to be brought along on the journey, because if they think that their privacy is being eroded because of the use of UAVs on a regular basis, I think that'll be a key problem for us, because we police by consent normally, certainly in Australia and UK and the Western world. So we need to make sure that the community is happy with the way we're using UAVs. And just because we can use UAVs to do something doesn't mean we actually should do it, because it may damage public opinion. So I think the drawback is the potential damage to our relationships with the community, which should always be at the centre of our day-to-day duties.
The drawbacks in introducing drones to the regular working feature is legislation, because when you look at the rules and regulations, you're not supposed to fly drones near people or in built-up areas. But if there's instances within built-up areas and near people, then you're basically breaking the regulations. So it's a catch-22. This is where technology is further advanced than what the regulations are.
I think any end user which is considering introducing UAVs into their day-to-day operations or potentially in emergency situations needs to take a gradual process, or a gradual process to actually implementing that solution. They need to involve the National Airspace Regulator along the journey, have regular conversations with them to make sure that they're actually doing the right thing. Certainly in Australia, our CASA, our Airspace Regulator, has been very supportive of progressing in a measured, controlled and safe manner. The other aspect, as I said before, about the community's interest is make sure we bring the community along with us and we explain to them why we're doing certain things. Because I think they're certainly mature and they understand it. We see a lot of civil applications of UAVs, be it for surfing or skiing. So the new technically enabled younger members of the community certainly love UAVs. If we can bring them along with us, we should be pretty well in a good spot.
For the use, the advice I would give is make sure you do very good risk assessments. Make sure there's not lots of radio in case there's radio interference as well. And you always set a proper go-home location in your drone. So if you do lose contact with it, the drone should fly by itself back to a set location.